Alright, so we are opening the T4 today, which I just got in from alienrides.com. If you guys feel like ordering something to support the channel through my affiliate link, it's in the description down below. It gives me a small kickback for any items that you do purchase from Alien Rides. Any purchases made through the Go George Go affiliate link, all that money gets spent right back here on the channel for more content. No, I have not generated enough content money to purchase this wheel. I just bought this for myself for my birthday. I need a lighter wheel besides the EX20 because the EX20 is just too heavy. Alright, first things first, we're going to cut her open with this beautiful case knife that my father gave me. Whenever you're opening a wheel, use a nice knife, right? We're not going to use a butter knife or some keys or something. We're going to use the nicest knife you got. Alright, look at this. They printed out some sheets here from Alien Rides. EUC Quality Assurance Checklist. I was processed by Kevin himself. Look at that. Alright, so right on top here, a nice little Allen key. Look at that. Look at that, in case you needed one, right? Off to the left here looks like our charger. Holy shnikes, that's a big charger. Comes with a 5 amp. Beautiful. Look at that. 110, 220 volt, automatically converting 5 amp charger. Oh, baby. It's actually a lot better than I was thinking it was going to. I was thinking it was going to come with a classic 2 or 3 amp charger like all the other wheels seem to be coming with these days. But a nice little 5 amp stock charger. That's a big bonus. Ooh, comes with extra fuses for the charger in case you blow something in there. And I got these little stoppers here. I know these go at the bottom of the suspension. So I got extra of those. And I've even got a European plug in case I need it. Oh, baby, this is not what I was hoping to get. Damn it. So if you saw me doing Archie's video, he got a different pump than me on his T4. The pump that he received had both the high pressure and the low pressure settings, so you could do both tires and your suspension. This is just the suspension shock, which is fine. I already have one of these from my V11. It's the same shock here, which this is a very high quality suspension shock. It's great. I was just really looking forward to having that little combination pump. It was tiny. It was awesome to be able to just keep in your bag so that if you had tire or suspension issues, it's all covered by one pump. Alright, here we go, the money shot. Oh, baby. T4 coming to life. Ooh, there she is. We got the side pads here. And we got the beast herself. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. The T4. So one thing that kind of annoys me about the T4 though, it doesn't have the kickstand like the other new suspension models have. That's going to be one of my first modifications I'm going to have to make on this bad boy, because having the kickstand, I'm just so used to it now with the EX20. It's kind of vital. But this thing is badass. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, try and power her on. Alright, it turns on. However, it does not balance. That's normal when you get a brand new wheel straight from factory. They ship these things. Even if you get a used wheel, whoever's sending it to you should be putting it into travel mode so that it doesn't actually spin up in the box, right, if somehow that button got touched. So it won't balance until we do the secret Begode code, right? I'm pretty sure you just press this button 5 times fast. It'll start beeping. Turn it off. Turn it back on. It should balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, didn't start beeping, so we'll turn it off. Turn it back on. It did not catch. All right, so I think maybe I have to hold the reset button. Usually you have to hold the spin kill button. This doesn't actually have a spin kill button. I'm sorry. Usually they have a spin kill button like on the handle, right? This one's spin kill button is a button on the top here, right next to the power button. So let's hold that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what we were looking for. And then we turn her off. Turn it back on. Oh, she's balancing, baby. Woo-wee. All right, so the T4 has this sweet LCD display screen on here. That's awesome. It comes with these kind of junky pedals. I'm probably going to get pedal replacements because I like the big ones, especially the Begode pedals. I'm a big fan of. So you balancing until you press this button on the top twice. 3 times, because if it's moving at all, it won't engage. So you have to make sure it's completely still when you're pressing that button. Sometimes it can be a little finicky, but personally I like it a lot better than the handle buttons or anything like that. It's got these lights on the back, badass. Let's see the headlight. Oh yeah, baby, blinking. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I am excited here. All right, so I did see someone else complaining about trying to get the plastic off the batteries here, and now I see what they're saying when I tried to take it off. This one I got it off, no problem, but this one it ripped, and now I can't get it. So I'm just gonna pop the battery off real quick to get it unwrapped, and we'll do the same thing to the other side. It's just these 2 screws and these 2 screws. I want to take a second. All right, there you go. You undo those 4 screws. Lift right up. Good to go. Well, this kind of sucks. When Archie got his, it was super loose, and this feels like it wants to be, but look at that. It's catching on something. I already tried loosening the rebound on this. I was hoping maybe it was just because the shock was rebounding so slow, but either end, it's still, something's catching. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to fill it with air and see if it seems normal. It should extend a good amount when I do that. So I put a little air in it and it extended out nicely, very smoothly. So I'm not sure what the problem was there. I'm going to try letting the air back out and see if it still is catching on whatever it was catching on. All right, so now it does go up and down a lot. It actually moves. I can hear this. I hear like a scratching. You hear that? Something somewhere is. My feeling is it's something in here. I'm wondering if there's some gunk inside there. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do here is try to identify whether it's the slider piston or something to do with the shock, swing arms, or the shock itself. So what I'm going to do, remove this battery and the battery on the other side so I can drop the shock out. It looks like it's as simple as it's right behind this, which is actually kind of nice. Just move the battery. It's got these 2 screws and this screw holding the cable down right here. So we'll drop out the 2 batteries, pull off the shock, and then see if this is the friction or if this is the friction. So obviously, getting into the shock here is kind of a pain in the butt. Definitely easier than the Hero. Not even a question. Way easier than getting to it with the Hero. But the EX20, they designed it so nice. It was so easy. Begode, why don't you just continue with the EX20 design? It was the best feeling suspension I've ever had. It's the easiest to work on. Everything just makes sense. It's all out in the open. Like, go back to the EX20 design. All right, here we go. Now I've got access to both shock pins. Definitely easier than the Hero, but way more of a pain in the ass than the EX20. I mean, look at how many screws I had to remove just to get to the shock on this thing. The Hero, even more screws I had to get rid of. The EX20, 0. Not 1 screw needs to be removed on the EX20 in order to access the shock, so I can swap it out, make adjustments, whatever I got to do, right? I can just get right in there. Literally, these are all showing. Both of these points here, which are the 2 points I need in order to get the shock out of this thing. On the EX20, 0 screws. Not 1 needs to be removed. This thing and the Hero, I'm sure the Master's the same way. Look at all these screws I got to take off just to get to this. Begode, you nailed it with the EX20. Go back to the EX20. Alright, so this back pin was insanely tight. And it's got like some sticky shit on it. I don't know what this is. It's literally sticky, like really sticky. So I'm going to clean this pin real good, lube that up. This back pin looks really smooth, so I'm probably not going to mess with it at all. You can just see how much, oh, my headlamp's not on. That'd help. You can just see how much free that's moving. That's moving really smoothly, so I'm not worried about the back one. I'm just gonna clean up this one, and then we'll check and see if it's got to be this then. Yeah, that's some type of glue. I'm literally having to scrape it off. Even just wiping it with alcohol wasn't working. It was big chunks of it that I just scraped off. I'm gonna go back and clean it with alcohol here, but I don't know what in the world. There's a little bit on this side too. I don't know if that's what it was. It literally glued in place. Is that why it wasn't moving until I broke the seal by pumping air into the suspension, putting a lot more pressure than just the weight of the tire on it? I don't know, but that's got to get cleaned up. All right, so this back end here seems good, right? Like there's plenty of play in the system. Everything seems to be moving pretty smoothly here. I'm not going to worry about that at all. But you can hear when I move this. Not when it goes down, but when it goes up. You hear that scrape? Maybe that's just this, actually. Okay, it's just the shock. Alright, so I've got this whole thing apart. There's plenty of play in this system. I mean, granted, I did pull out a main pin, but I'm hoping it was just something catching. Maybe it was that glue, because this doesn't seem that bad here. That scrape is just from the shock. I already checked that. That's good. Like, it doesn't seem that bad. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lube these up real good. I'm going to lube this thing up real good. Lube up this pin, and then put it back together, and hopefully, I mean, it doesn't feel bad at all. I just think that this thing is completely unlubed, which it just needs a little friendly, friction-free lubricant. Alright, so if you haven't seen me use this stuff in other videos before, this is just some PB Blaster dry lube that I used just now on this back pin, just to make sure it's got a little lubrication going on there. I use this dry lube specifically because you want it. It goes on wet, but then it dries into like a nice slick kind of surface, right? So it's not going to collect dust or dirt. You know, this is actually designed for use on power tools, specifically like saw blades, right? Where you're going to have a lot of sawdust and stuff up in there. So it's not going to collect all that crap. You want to use some kind of a dry lube. I use this one because it's safe for use on plastics. It says so right there. I don't know if you can read it. The light's kind of blowing it out there, but safe for use on plastics. Shake it up, spray it on. Like, it's done the job really well for me. I'll keep using this PB Blaster. It's safe for use on plastic, chlorine free, yada yada yada. Alright, I got the shock back assembled. Now I'm just going to hit this slider piece here with the lube here. I'm going to shoot it up in there. Alright, I want to get it on the bar itself as well. And you'll see all the white stuff everywhere. It's alright, it wipes right off. Don't worry about it. Put some up in there. And then we're going to close it down a little bit here. And I need two hands to do it, but I'm gonna slide it back and do the other side. All right, we got her lubed up, and she is whatever that little scratch is gone. It's moving nice and smooth now. Beautiful. So it had to have been partially that glue that was on this piece here. This definitely had a little friction going on, so just need to lube it up. You know what I mean? Get her moving nice and smooth. All right, now we're ready to pump some air in it and go out and actually try and ride it. Okay, guys, so now let's talk about why you haven't seen much content from me with the T4 yet. Unfortunately, there have been several issues with these Batch 1 T4s that need to be fixed and addressed. They're slowly being changed here, but for me personally, immediately out of the box, the day I unboxed it here, I only had a quick 20 minutes to ride it before I had to go take care of some things. So I pumped it up, went outside, played with it for a minute. It was awesome. I was planning on shooting some footage the next day on the T4, my thoughts of how to set up the suspension for your weight and stuff. And, of course, the shock leaked all its air out and was dead. So this makes 0 for 3 for me with Begode shocks. Unfortunately, they just seem to be really low quality. I don't know, maybe it's something I'm doing. I've just been incredibly unlucky with these Begode shocks, so I've had to order a third-party shock to put in the T4, but that's just one of the issues. The much bigger deal, and one of the reasons you really haven't seen me ride this much, I think I've only put about 50 miles on the T4 in total over the past 2 or 3 months here, is because there is a critical safety issue with the first batch motors of these T4s. By the time you're watching this, if you have ordered a T4, it's already been addressed, okay? There's new motors coming out. Mine should be here, hopefully in another 2 or 3 weeks, I was told by Alien Rides. The original motors, if you look at the motor code, the motors that start with code ZX have a stator slippage issue, which basically means that inside of the motor, something slips and breaks, and it can rip the Hall sensors and basically cause the wheel to cut out and even fry your control board in worst case scenario. And for a wheel capable of doing over 30 miles an hour, it's just something that I'm not really willing to risk, especially when I have the EX20 to ride. I just don't feel like it's safe for me to be riding this wheel. I have done some off-roading on it, and I loved it. I love this wheel for sure with what I've done with it, but I really just can't put it to the test right now, as I just do not trust this wheel until I get the new motor installed. One of the other much more minor issues is that the screen has been having some issues in the cold weather, right? In cold weather, for some reason, the screen doesn't work. It has something to do with the buck converter chip on the board. Alien Rides already sent me a new one. I just got it the other day. I have not had a chance to install it, but I might make a little video showing you how to install that on your wheel. I believe it also affects the Master. It might affect the Master Pro. I'm not positive on that. But that's an easy fix, and realistically, it's just a cosmetic issue. There poses no safety threat whatsoever. So as always, guys, if you're going to be buying a batch 1 unicycle from any manufacturer, please know that you're going to have to do some work on your own, okay? Don't expect, having to send your wheel in for every little problem is going to get costly, okay? The warranties on these wheels, the way they work is you got to pay for shipping. And honestly, the warranty usually only covers you for a motor, batteries, control board. It's not going to cover you for things like, now luckily Alien Rides has been nice enough, and Begode has been nice enough to cover the buck converter chip. Obviously the motor is covered. But like my suspension issue, that might not have been covered. You know what I mean? If yours out of the box is scratchy, you're going to have to figure that out on your own. So just know when you're buying a unicycle, any PEV really, especially from the first batches, you've got to be comfortable with doing a little bit of work on your own wheel. But now let's talk about some of the things that they've really gotten right here with batch 1 owners. Begode has extended an extra year out on the warranty. So if you have any issues on your battery, motor, control board for 2 years, Begode and Alien Rides is going to cover you, which is amazing. That's really great, especially when it comes to the batteries and the control board. The motors should last, honestly, more than that. But, if you have any issues with your control board, if you have any issues with your batteries, they're going to be covered for 2 years for batch 1 owners. Another awesome thing that Gotway is going to be doing for batch 1 owners is sending us all knobby tires and kickstands. Like I said in the video earlier, the kickstand is one of the biggest things that this wheel was missing. It even has a spot to put it. I don't have no idea why it didn't ship originally with a kickstand, but luckily they're sending it out to us. We're going to be getting kickstands. I believe all the future batches actually have kickstands as well. They also have different pedals, the little M10 floor pedals. I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to feel those yet. I don't know if they're better or worse than the ones that came on mine. But we're going to be getting kickstands and knobby tires. I already got the knobby tire that came in recently. I can't wait to get that installed. We'll probably make a video about that when I do it. I just figured it's not even worth ripping the thing apart until I get the new motor. But yeah, that's the T4 as it stands now for me. Like I said, I unfortunately haven't had a chance to ride it as much as I would like. My off-roading on it has been fun. I do have a lot more content coming for it this spring, but we really just got to wait until we get that motor in order to really start doing some videos on this bad boy. So once I got the motor in, we'll do a tire change, a motor install, the DC chip. We'll set it up with the suspension, the new shock that I'm going to put into it. I'll probably put another DNM. I put my DNM from the EX20 in it for a while, It was a lot of fun. I brought it out into the woods. I didn't film that day. I should have filmed, but I've been slacking. Your boy George has been slacking. I got 7, 8 videos still. I got to actually edit for you guys in the queue. I'm going to be releasing a video on the X-Max, okay, the Extreme Bow Wheel that's kind of been lost in the fray here. I'll release that probably next week or in a couple days here. That also I filmed literally months ago at this point. I'm really, really slacking on the editing. But I'm trying to get back on the editing grind here. It's just been a little bit of a busy season for me at work and in life. But we're going to get back on the grind here from the winter time, especially now that it's winter. I won't be riding quite as much. And I've also got an amazing new project. You're going to be seeing a video on that coming here real soon. So stick with the channel, like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. We got a lot coming. So be on the lookout for more Go George Go here in your immediate future. And until next time, guys, ride safe.